Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in today to episode 12. Today we'll continue talking about files when it comes to Java. We'll be creating a single line text file today. Some of the items we'll cover, we'll cover file class, path class, OutputStream class, BufferedOutputStream class, and we'll discuss the importing java.nio.file.StandardOpenOption. So go ahead and launch your Eclipse. I already have my Eclipse running. I'm going to go ahead and walk through the code today, and then I'll go ahead and rewrite it with you. You can definitely follow along. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to go ahead and create a file called TechName. And in this file, we'll just have a couple of, we can write down whatever you want in this file, but for me, I'm writing down Izzy the Tech Guy. And I'll go ahead through step by step and how to create that. So let me go ahead and delete this file. And we see that file is no longer present in this folder location. So if we look at the code here, go ahead and, like I said, I have the code is written out ready, but I'm gonna go ahead and delete it, and then we'll go through that. Right here, everything up here. All this. So I'm gonna leave the comments, and as well I'm also leave this method and the main method. So so far I have the class, the main method, and the create a single line file method. But after that I'm gonna delete everything. Let's try catch, delete that. So bear with me one moment while I delete codes. Alright, let's close. This was part of the try statement. Okay, so we have basically what you would have when you create your when you go ahead and get started, you will have your class, and go ahead and create your main method if you have not, and go ahead and create another method. It's going to be, I create as a private static void, create a single line file. Now, what we want to go ahead and do is we want to go ahead and start with creating the objects that we need to do, because what we want to do, again, we want to create an application that will create a text file with a single line text file. So the first step we want to do, we want to define our path. So I'm going to go ahead and go private static path. Okay, and you can name this whatever. I just name it like this, the file. So again, we have an error message right here. Go ahead and put your cursor over that, and then all you have to do, you'll see a little prompt if you're using Excel to import java.nio.file. So go ahead and click on that one, and that should take care of that error message you were seeing. And again, I'm a little picky. I like aligning things together, so you can leave it how it was or whichever way you prefer, as long as you can read the code. The reason why I do it this way, that I'm able to read the code much better. I go to my next one that I want to declare, private static OutputStream. And you can name this whatever you want. I'm going to name it OutputBytes. Then again, I get the little error message. Put your cursor over that and it'll let you know what you need to import. So go ahead and import java.io. Click on that, and it imported it, which is up here. Perfect so far. Okay, so OutputStream. This is our first time seeing OutputStream. Go ahead and pull up a little. Okay, give me 1 second while I get this up for you guys, so we can go ahead and discuss our OutputStream and that method, what it entails and why we're using it. Again, when it comes to the file, using files in Java, it can become very complicated. But once we break it down step by step, it should be easy to follow and easy to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it for. So this is our first time since we've been doing these lessons that we've come across this one. Go ahead and explain this to you. Okay, so we have here kind of like a hierarchy. We have our output stream. This is the main method that we use to write things out. So this time we can use this to write out to the console, or you can use it to write out the text file, which is what we're doing today. And one of the child methods of the output stream is file output stream. And the child method of that is BufferedOutputStream. So we use the output stream in order to go ahead and write to the text file. So if I read this real quick, by setting up such an output stream, an application can write bytes to the underlying output stream. So whatever you define, like since we're going to use the text, we're going to write out to the start. And this is why we use the output stream. In the file output stream, a file output stream is an output stream for writing data to a file or to a file description. This is very important. For our example, we're going to use the text. We're just going to write a single line text, but usually that's not what I would use. I wouldn't use it this way, but just so we can understand and get familiar writing and creating a text, I'm using it. But file output stream is meant for writing streams of raw bytes, such as image, data, writing streams, or of characters. Consider using file writers. And in this lesson, we won't be using file writer. Okay, so back to our code here. So we have our output stream. Next thing we want to go ahead and declare is, since we're using the output stream, we're going to have to convert our string to a byte. So let's go ahead and do that. Private static byte. And this is going to be an array. Oops. I'm going to say string byte. Perfect. And you see this yellow line, it's because we haven't used any of these. We're just declaring them, but later on they'll go away once we start using them. Okay, so now we want to create our string variable. We're going to go private static string, and I'm going to name this variable name. And it's going to be and don't forget your semicolon, and we're good with that one. Okay, now in our main method, we already created, should have this method already in here. If not, go ahead and put down this method within the main method. Then we're going to come down here. Now what we want to do, like we did in our last lesson, we want to do file, wherever you want to path. Now it's path with an s dot get. Freezing up a little bit, and put our semicolon. Now what you want to do is put the location and the name of the file that you want to create. For me, here's my location of where I want to create this file. And that should be good right there. And now what we want to do is we want to excuse me, what we want to do now is go ahead and put the string into the byte. So come down here, go string byte equals main dot get. Come on, there we go. Get bytes. And that should take care of that. Okay, now remember last lesson we ran into the IO exception. We're gonna run into that this time as well. Let me go ahead and show you what it says, but go ahead and put down output byte here equals new, and here comes where we're speaking of the buffered reader. new buffered. Not buffered reader, I'm so sorry. Buffered output stream. We'll use buffered reader in a later lesson. Output stream. Let me see if I can get this to display. Let's go ahead and import. But we're still going to get the error message. Did it import? Yes, it did. Let's highlight this. No, it's not going to stay. But basically, for this one, when you first initialize this buffered output stream, you need to pass through an argument. So the argument that we're going to pass through is files.new output, since we're writing. And this files.new output stream, we have to pass two arguments. And those two arguments will be the path, for which is this file. So we'll go ahead and pass this through. And what else we need to pass is we need to be able to say what to this method, to the buffered output stream. We want to let it know, what are we doing? Are we creating one? Are we appending one? So for this one, what we're doing, we're creating. You want to highlight create. And now let's say, for instance, it's already created. So what else we want to do? We want to append if it's already created. Append. And we'll get an error message here, and it says create constant create, which we don't need to do. The reason why we're getting this error message is because we need to import java.nio.file.StandardOpenOption, and that gives us the option to either open the file and create it, or create a new file, or add to the existing files. And there's other options as well besides create and append. Some other options that we have, we can delete on close, we can truncate. So those are some of the options we can pass through here. But in order to pass that, we need to import. So let's go up here, import static java.nio.file.standard. Finish it off for me. Nope, it will not. Open option dot asterisk. Yep, and now you see everything's working here. And now again, if you look here, we're getting that error message. Remember what I said about earlier that we were getting the IO exception? Again, in another lesson, we'll definitely go through that. We can become more familiar with that and how to handle that. So let's go ahead and surround this with a try statement. So try down here. How do I want to do this? Let me put my catch right here. Try cat IO exception. And if we highlighted before I went through and write all these try statement, we will see that it'll tell you which exception it's throwing. IO and we want to be able to say what happened. We want to send out an error message if something happens. So we'll say error save that. And again, we have to import. So we'll come up here, put our cursor on there. This is import IO exception. Perfect. Let's scroll up and we see that it has been imported. Okay, so what we're saying, okay, go ahead and open or create this file, whichever one we need to do, which is this file right here. And after we do that, now let's go ahead and start writing to that file. So what we're going to do, we're going to go use our output, which we signed it here, output byte dot write. And again, you see all these are the write method has 3 different options, 3 different arguments, as you could say. So it has a byte and art, and you have a regular byte, and then you have an int. We're going to use this one right here, and we're going to pass string byte. And then after, it's very important, you know what, let me leave right here. I'll show this. And then we want to go ahead and say out that our file has been created. Okay, and we're going to say, remember we used this last lesson, file.get file name. And I'm going to show you guys something right here. Okay, so we have everything set up. So now let me open the location of the folder. Find it. Give me bear with me 1 second while I go to this location right here. Workspace guides. Okay, so we see here there's no file called tech name. So let's go ahead and run this code that we've written, and you'll see something here. We run it. Let's look at the console. The following file has been created, techname.txt. Perfect. So it seems like everything worked. And we come here, techname.txt has been created. But look at this. There's no data in here. So let's open it. There's no data in here. Now you're probably wondering why. The reason why this happened is we did everything correctly, but the last thing we need to do is close the file. And that's something that happens a lot. It's like it'll write it, but it's hard to explain. Think of it as it writes it, but it doesn't know what to do with it. So the transaction is not complete, I guess is the best way I can explain it. So you have to close it, or when you go to open that text file, you're going to see a blank file. So let's go ahead and put output byte dot close. That little, let's save it. And remember this little part we added, the append. We're going to see that because if okay, it's not showing that I have that file. Let me go back to it. Give me 1 second. Sorry. But what I want to show you is just how I have this file still in the same location. Okay. So we see here we have tech name. It's still there. So let's go ahead and run it. Let's look at the console, see what we got. The following file has been created. Perfect. Now let's go back to that location. Tech name. And the reason this was able to happen where the file's already there and we're still able to run this is because we have the append. Okay, so it's either going to create it. If it's not there, it's going to create it. But if it's there, then it's just going to go ahead and append. Let's go ahead and go back. And open this up. Perfect. Izzy the tech guy, or whatever you put in there, displays. And if we want, we can run it again and just continue to add that single line. I just ran it again. Let me check. Perfect. Continues to append it. Continues. Which is exactly what we want it to do. Now, if you don't want it to append, you can just here take this out. Save. Let's run it. And let's see our output. Is he the tech guy? Is he the tech guy? Here, perfect. Okay, next lesson we'll see how to create multi-line text files. We'll go through that. So hopefully everybody enjoyed this lesson. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Everybody, have a good day.